A significant number of Russian soldiers fighting in Ukraine receive this status as a missing person as soon as contact with them is lost. This is profitable for the budget. No payments are made to relatives until the fact of their death is established. And searching for a missing person in Russia can take decades. For example, Rosa Halishkova has been waiting 20 years for her son, who disappeared during the First Chechen War. For 3 months, Russian citizen Yelena Lekoeva searched for her brother, contract serviceman Vladimir Veselov. He went to war in Ukraine and disappeared. Calls to the hotline of the Defense Ministry and the military unit gave nothing. They kept saying alive and well, on a business trip. In August, Veselov was accidentally found in a Moscow hospital, and for 3 months he had been in a very serious coma.
No one is looking for anyone there, they just send them one way. Also, as I understood, when the fighting was going on, they were not given enough water, weapons or food. There in the village, they were getting food themselves in the houses, some pasta. We were looking for him everywhere, the living, the dead. I wrote to the military commander's office, the prosecutor's office, the president. There was no information from anywhere. Yelena Lekoeva, sister of a Russian soldier, in an interview with Siberia Realities.
After rejections by the Defense Ministry officials, relatives of missing Russian servicemen usually look for information on Ukrainian resources. The Sukharev family searched for their son, warrant officer Alexander, for 4 months. He stopped getting in touch after the battle in the village of Mykilske, Donetsk region, back in April. Later, the family recognized their son in a photo in an unknown hospital, and Ukrainian Telegram channels posted all of these documents. Until now, the Sukharevs have not received any official information from the Russian Ministry of Defense.
While there is no body, there is hope. And another important thing, they took DNA material from the relatives, but there is no person with such DNA among the dead, which means there is a chance. For 3 months they still could not find out anything, or they do not tell us anything. Sasha's wife and daughter of 10 years, I asked if they got his salary, and they said that the last payment was made in March, and that was the end of it. Alexander Sukharev, father of the missing Russian soldier, in an interview with Siberia Realities.
Relatives, desperate to get any information from the Russian authorities, start searching themselves. Ivan Kazmaly from Ust-Kulomsky district of the Komi Republic went to war in Ukraine to search for his missing son and disappeared in Ukraine.
Не выходит на связь с 8 июля.
He has not contacted us since July 8, and since that day his phone has been turned off to remind his 19-year-old son. Denis Kazmaly decided to serve on a contract after college in 2021. The young paramedic reconnaissance officer told his relatives about the training camp at the firing range in February, and on the 27th, communication with him was stopped.
Ukrainian volunteers and journalists, with the permission of law enforcement officers, communicate with Russian captives, giving them the opportunity to call their families in Russia. And it is clear from the answers of the relatives that Moscow ignores the lists of prisoners of war provided by Kyiv, just as Deputy Prime Minister for the reintegration of the temporarily occupied territories of Ukraine Irina Vereshchuk has stated.
А с воинской части не звонили, где вообще они?
Has anyone from the military unit called? Where I am? They don't want to know? Oh, bastards! Bastards! You're in the official list from the Ukrainian side.
Parents of missing Russian soldiers also appeal to the Committee of Soldiers' Mothers. This public organization have been protecting soldiers from bullying and lawlessness in the army for decades. This organization was a force to be taken into account by the Defense Ministry. But now, as the committee itself says, their work is almost paralyzed. They explain this by the Kremlin's repression and policy of total secrecy.
If the state has forbidden all military departments to provide any information, even to parents and relatives, then it means that we have to go some other way, with some tricky questions, complicated appeals. There was a command to keep it in secret, but it is already impossible to keep it in secret. It is not decent to consider a person as missing If his photo in the trench where he will now be buried with the documents on his chest has spread all over the internet, Valentina Melnikova, human rights activist, executive secretary of the Union of Committees of Soldiers' Mothers of Russia, in an interview with «Продолжение следует».
While the Ukrainian side is gathering the bodies of killed Russian soldiers, keeping records and creating registries, the Kremlin is covering up all information for its own citizens. Parents are looking for their sons, and some of them are already looking to return. Stacks of reports of Russian military personnel refusing to participate in combat operations were found by the Ukrainian army in the liberated territories. The Russian military command deceives families and does not send soldiers' reports. Reported by Sergei Kulyas, Yulia Bezborodko, UATV News.